well, you know, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which, it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be, you know? I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, are you a fan of Mel Gibson? Now, we know Mel Gibson is somebody right now that we should be looking forward to what the future has in store, because he's coming out with the Resurrection 2, which is a Christian faith-based movie. He has exposed the trafficking going on around the world. I'm not sure if you guys are a fan of him. Once again, whatever you think about the man's past, whatever you think about him, I would say this. He just came out and exposed everything, and he's going viral for it. I mean, every video he's doing right now is going into the millions, exposing what's going on with the government in California and these failures. He's asking some of the best questions. We're going to get into it right now, ladies and gentlemen, as he's doing this interview here on Fox. Make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. As always, let's take a listen.
Go on.
You know, both, you know, you've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about these fires. Obviously, the winds were horrific, but they were predicted. I know you know that last weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they said this could be tragic with these winds if there any fire starts.
Sure.
Do you believe in what you know so far, anything could have happened like this?
Yeah, well, one always suspects that this might happen, but one thinks that the resources, you know, and the capabilities of the men and women will be on standby, that they'll be able to.
By the way, before we continue, he lost everything in the intro just now, but he lost everything. He's here. He is talking about, obviously, they should have known it was going to happen, the handlement of all of this, but he did lose everything, which is just crazy.
Cope with any situation that comes up, but apparently some people were asleep on the job, mainly our leaders there. But, you know, that's something they have to live with. And but that's something that community has to live with. And it's really sad. I mean, I have many friends that are, you know, looking for a place to put a roof over their heads, and kids, and, you know, they're traumatized. So someone should answer for it, but we'll see. I think we know who the culprits are. In fact, my son he's a member of the volunteer fire brigade. He sort of interfaces between LA County Fire and people, and they assist them where they can during, before, and after the blaze. And apparently the residents in Corral Canyon caught an arsonist up there. And the guy was all tooled up with fire gear and equipment and stuff like that, and ready to go. And he had been lighting fires, but they corralled the guy in Corral Canyon and gave him to the police. So
again, here's what he's saying. And he's saying that there's another thing. A lot of people want to run away from this because they want this to be, they want the narrative. I always talk about the narratives of what they're trying to keep. They're trying to keep the narrative of climate change. But here is Mel Gibson saying exactly what we've seen. It's arsonists. Arsonists may have started this. If you look at, again, you could look at this from many different aspects of it. But man, people are saying that the Palisades fire, which is where Mel Gibson lived, and many different celebrities, that was started by, you know, climate change, bad weather, dry land, no water. Think twice, but let's keep listening.
Yeah, apparently that
actively going around looking for these conditions. Yeah,
apparently, Mel, that individual was never charged. It's a very confusing set of facts, because apparently he was reportedly trying to light things on fire, but it's not the fires, I guess, that they. I mean, it all seems very bizarre. But they have not ruled out that arson could have started the first fire. There's obviously still investigating this, and at the same time, Mel, there are numerous complaints, as you alluded to, that the fire hydrants did not have water or water pressure, and the LA fire chief herself reacted. Watch this.
My stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, you know, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, oh, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? You know, I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we play.
Wait a minute. What does he mean by that? They will want the state empty. God, man. You start to look at all the pictures from overhead, and you start to see that this is going to be land that's either going to be rebuilt, bought by who exactly? Who's going to buy this land? Is California? Is this part of California, like LA, going to be rebuilt and bought by somebody? I don't know. Interesting questions there, Mel.
I had a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs, and obviously there's a great need for high density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks, and you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like goodbye single family homes, hello high density housing. Yeah.
It's pretty scary, and it'll take decades to do that too. It's like even if it, you know, if it's a good idea, which I don't know if it is, but reminds me of the old cattle barons clearing people off the land, you know. But I don't know. I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little.
Do it, Mel.
Convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions, Mel. Mel, a message tonight.
You know, I'll sift through the remains of my place and see if I can find any clues for you.
Mel, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either, but there you go.
Now, Mel, I know multiple shows and films have been put on hold. Everyone's livelihood has been put on hold, been involved in these fires, affected by the fires. And I know you have a film, Flight Risk, that's coming out in just 2 weeks. First film you've directed since 2016's Hacksaw Ridge, which we love.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mel Gibson absolutely going scorched earth on all of this. He's coming out with some theories here that he doesn't want to come out with, but he's thinking exactly what we're all thinking. This is why a lot of people love Mel Gibson, because his brain works like this. I mean, he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and did the same thing where he was just going at the circumstances that they're so unique, but not really, right? Because you see arsonists, then you hear about the climate folks, and you start to think, was this done on purpose? They were messing with the water. Again, that fire chief video that we saw earlier at the beginning, that fire chief, she got fired by Karen Bass for exploding and basically blowing the whistle and saying, wait a minute, we weren't equipped. The leadership is not good. So there you have it. Well, let me know what you guys think about Mel Gibson as a whole, but what he says here is very interesting. Very interesting thoughts. He's thinking exactly what we're all thinking, I believe. And these fires are still going on. There's like a new fire in Brentwood right now in Los Angeles. I mean, it's not stopping. It doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. I hope that we get the answers that we deserve. And I think he proposed a great question. He posed a great question by saying, do they want the state empty? And that, man, that's the reason why I'm making this video, because that question is so good. But it's like it's being done in broad daylight. It's being done right in front of us. What the hell is happening with these fires? We saw it in Maui, right? We saw that in Maui. We're seeing kind of the same response. What's going to happen? We've seen what FEMA did in North Carolina. We know what's going on there. So it's a weird time, but it's a time where we all got to come together and really look at the response and look at the leadership, who's taking action, who's not, and what's behind all of this. I think it's the great time for all of us to come together and make these videos and share them to really figure out what's going on, to really get the answers and continue the conversation. Because I know that this goes over a lot of people's heads, and next thing you know, we're moving on and talking about the next thing, and we still don't even have answers for certain things. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments about Mel Gibson, about his thoughts on this, about what he had to say. This video is going viral right now. This video has 2.5 million, probably 3 million views real time by the time 24 hours hits. So he's going viral for what he's saying. Also taking a shot at Gavin Newsom. Spend less time on hair gel. Oh man, that's a classic. Not gonna forget that one anytime soon. See you guys in the next one.